Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is the Comic Collector Geek, Alan, and this is my Wednesday video where I answer your questions. So this week I have some really great questions, and I brought a ton of stuff to show. And so we might as well get right into it. By the way, if you have a question you want to ask and get me to show lots of cool things, ask it in the comments below. So remember that. Okay. First comes from Polly76. Do you have any covers by Lucio Parillo that you can show? I, in fact, do. So one of the things that was on my pull list for when I was, when I buy modern comics, is his covers. I actually really like his covers. I know that you like Vampirella, so I'm going to show some Vampirella and some other books that he did. First, I want to show you some Sheena, and he does his artwork. I find is really good. But one issue, the only one complaint I have about his artwork is I find it just somehow a bit dark. I don't know why, but it's always a bit dark. So it's easy to pick out his stuff because it has that sort of dark hue to it. So this is Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, number 8. And another one, number 4, from the same series. This is kind of a cool cover. And from the same series again, number 7. And then we have Vampirella Unholy, number 6. So if you like Parillo, I have a ton. And actually I didn't even pull it all. I pulled a pretty good collection of it, but this is more of Vampirella Unholy, number 2. We have Vampirella Strikes, and Parillo is still doing the covers for a lot of Dynamite stuff right now, and so I'm still getting new ones all the time from him. I don't like the one thing that I don't really like is they have like multiple shades, like where they'll have this green one or bluish one. I don't like when they do that, but that's another complaint. But I do like his artwork a lot. So I always tell them, don't give me the variant of the same cover, but just slightly different color. So this is Vampirella Unholy, number 5. And I even have like a Virgin variant for one of them. I forgot what issue this is, but it's a nice cover. Vampirella is just such a great woman to draw. She's super sexy, so I like this one. This is Vampirella Strikes, number 2. And Vampirella Strikes, number 3. Really have to organize all my Vampirellas. They're totally out of order. Okay, and then here's another one where it's like the Virgin variant. And then we have Lady Hell. And then Lady Hell, number 2. These are from Chaos Comics and Dynamite. And then we got Dynamite Never Dies. I believe this is almost like an homage cover. There's a very similar cover from the Warren books. Kind of reminds me of it. So it's kind of a little zombie-like and Vampirella-like. And then we got a Red Sonja. This is Dynamite Never Dies, number 3. And then Hell Sonja, very sexy Hell Sonja. And then we got more Hell Sonja. Hopefully these are coming across well. And then we have Red Sonja Unbreakable, number 3. And Unbreakable Sonja, number 2. So these are just like a small taste of my Parillo collection. There's just so many that were his covers. Like they always have like one of the variants will be one of his covers. One of my things is like I really do collect a lot of these Good Girl art covers, but sometimes Dynamite overwhelms you. You get like up to like N level of variants, and it just gets a little bit much. I wish they would kind of be a little bit more sparing about doing the variants, but I do enjoy his artwork, so I hope you enjoyed that little showcase of his some of his artwork. Uh, Randy DeBlower, uh, De, yeah, DeBauer, wrote, "Wow, I see you have a copy of Rangers 10, a very scarce, low census book with a great World War II cover." Yep. So the one he's mentioning is this one. It's just a really great cover. It's a bondage cover. The girl, she's all bound up. I think it's a red dress, but it's faded. So that's the problem with these fiction house books. They have the colors have a tendency of fading. But it is a really great cover. So yeah. So mine was eaten by something though. Look at the corner. It's really weird. That's why it's a low grade. If it wasn't for this corner over here, actually it presents incredibly well. It's just that one corner that's a little bit rough. So that's Rangers Comics number 10. So yeah, great book. Okay, next question comes from Frank. Oh wow, I can't even read my own handwriting. I wrote this down. Frank Hubel. I think it's Frank Hubel. I'm gonna hope my handwriting is so bad. I'm the son of 2 doctors, so my handwriting's bad. I can't even read my own handwriting. That's so sad. Okay, nice background. Is your main comic room finally ready? Well, yes, it is. Actually, on Monday, I did my comic room tour, and you can watch that video. I'm actually going to make another video with the room tour where I do it more, without me in the picture and kind of can show it a bit better. So stay tuned for that. That's probably going to air in a week or so. So yeah, I haven't recorded it yet. So that's something I'm working on. Stay tuned. But yes, it is finally complete. Needs to be organized though. The next question comes from Mr. E, the low grade king, who I recommend you check out his channel and subscribe to him. He asks, do you have any comics with clown covers? I actually have a few. I don't have a big clown cover collection, but I will do that as this week's cover challenge. So this is like a little bit of an insight. I'm going to do the clown covers as this week's cover challenge. So Friday, check it out, and I'll show you my clown covers. He also has a part 2 to his question. Also, can you talk a little about red circle book behind you? Well, it was behind me. I switched it out with the Date with Millie. When I searched for that red circle on eBay, I noticed that the same red circle book has many wrong interiors. Can you explain why? Okay, so what happened was, I'll show you the book. I'll just pull it out here. Here's my copy. So what happened was they had a lot of these extra covers, okay? And what they did was they would get these remainder books, and then they would put this cover on remainder books. So books without covers, coverless copies, they would just random 50s books, they would put this cover on top of them. So you can get like a Batman one, or you can get Sabu, and like there's like Diary Loves and Love Confessions, Young Love, Crime Doesn't Pay, Women Outlaws. All these books could have this cover on them, and it was just sort of a weird thing. Now there is one cover or one interior thing that was actually the right one in a weird way. And it was Dorothy Lamour. So you got to look for the Dorothy Lamour interior, okay? This is really important because this It used to be considered the first appearance of Dorothy Lamour in comics, but it actually sadly isn't. She actually made her first appearance in Looney Tunes #2. So I used to think this, like, originally it was stated that this was the first appearance, but now it's not. So I was very disappointed because I thought I had her first appearance. But yeah, just so you know, the comic that's inside is a Dorothy Lamour story that was never published anywhere else. So this was the first time it was published. But then later I found out, hey, there's other earlier appearances of Dorothy Lamour. But this is kind of an interesting book where you can get the Dorothy Lamour story that was never published anywhere else. The other thing that's kind of cool about it is, like, she's like a jungle princess in it, and it's kind of a weird story, like with her being a jungle princess, and like there's like some bad guy that's trying to steal, convince other people that she's not the real jungle princess, and all this kind of silly stuff. But yeah, so this is Red Circle Comics #4. The other Red Circles are actually kind of interesting books as well. They're all true stories to the books. There was only 4 in the run, but yeah, worth checking out. Okay, so that's a quick synopsis of that book. But it is one that definitely is worth checking out. Yeah, so yeah, what else was I gonna say? Okay, so Big B McFly, the comic book guy, wrote, how about showing your Pedigree books and your favorite signed books? Well, I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to show you mine, like all of my, well, not all, but most of my signed books and my Pedigree books. So I only have a few Pedigree books. Some of them I don't know where they are, and I'm still looking for them, but I will find them. But I do have 2 gold labels pedigrees, and they're both from the Promise collection. So there's my Detective Comics #9, which is a SOTY book because of the cover. It features Frederick Wortham being bound and gagged. And this is one of the books from my from the Promise collection. So this is a Pedigree, the Promise Pedigree, which is the Promise collection was basically 2 brothers that went off to the Korean War, and one of the brothers asked the other brother to basically protect his funny book collection if anything were to happen to him. And the brother kept that promise because his other brother had died in the war. So the books only recently came to light, maybe a couple of years ago, and it was a big sale. It was a really amazing find because they were all, you can see it, like a 9.2, very high grade for fairly rare books. So that's the Promise collection. So that's my first Promise collection. Actually, I have another. This is kind of a cool one. This is Crown Comics #3, and it's the first appearance of Vuda, which was a Matt Baker creation. So it's Matt Baker interior art. This is not Matt Baker cover. And it's the first black character, like the superhero kind of character, but without powers. He didn't have powers. He was a good guy, but he didn't have powers. And so kind of a key appearance. And this is also from the Promise collection from 1945. So those are my Pedigree books. Now I'm going to show you all my signed books, and I have a ton of signed books that are all yellow labels. So we got ElfQuest #1, and this is the first appearance of ElfQuest in comics. This is Fantasy Quarterly #1, I should say. So it's actually not ElfQuest #1, it's Fantasy Quarterly #1. And it's signed by both Wendy and Richard Pini, who who actually created and drew ElfQuest. So kind of a major book if you're interested in ElfQuest. As you can see, their signatures right up here. So, you know, I really like it. I like Dungeons and Dragons, so I like that one. Another series that I really like was The Crow. I was a big fan of The Crow. I liked the movie. I liked the whole idea of, you know, him coming back to life and his spirit tied with the spirit of the crow. And this is signed by James O'Barr. So, yeah. And I have the complete run of The Crow, which I was super happy to get. So this is Crow number 3. And then we have, this one required a bit of censoring, so I prepared in advance. So this is Lady Death, and it's signed by, what's his name? Brian Pulido. And so, yeah, I had to censor it. little stickies. So, yeah, so this is, and it's a 10-0. So, yeah. So Lady Death, yeah, number 1. Just a variant copy. They're limited to 200, actually. It's actually quite rare. And then we got another one I had to censor. This is a Naughty and Nice, or oh, sorry, this is Grimm Fairy Tales. What am I thinking? This is Grimm Fairy Tales, and it's presents Wonderland, and it's signed by Anthony Spey. It's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and they kind of lost their bikini tops, so that's why I had to censor it. But it's, I don't know, I kind of find those fun. And then we got another one. Another signed one. This is Naughty and Nice. This is signed by, one sec here, I believe, I have to see what it says. It's actually the first appearance of Naughty and Nice, and it's signed by, one sec here, signed by Morat Michaels and Mike DeBalfo. So the creator and the artist. So this is the first appearance of Naughty and Nice too. It's a variant. I believe it's a 1 in something variant. Like I forgot what the number is. I'm trying to do this without showing it. Yeah, so this is a 1 in 100. Like there's only 100. It limited to 100 copies of this variant. So this is the Naughty variant, but it's their first appearance. So kind of a key. I got that from Heritage, which is interesting to get something like that from Heritage. You don't usually see kind of the more risque stuff on Heritage. This is another Naughty and Nice one. Another one that's signed by the same, signed by Morat Michaels on the back cover. So you can see the sign is on the back, but it's, you know, pillow fight. I just thought it was a cute cover. I think I picked this up from my comic shop. It was like one of those auctions, and I didn't actually pay that much. I was quite happy to get it for a reasonable price, and whenever I can get a sexy, fun slab for a reasonable price, I will do so. And another awesome one is, this is Batman 400. Or Detective Comics 400. This is the first appearance of Man-Bat, but it's signed by Neil Adams, the artist. So I like Neil Adams' artwork a lot, and I actually bought this before he passed, so I was lucky. It kind of spiked afterwards. So this is from 1970, Batman 400, Detective Comics 400, and Heritage Auctions had a huge collection of Ken Bald stuff, and this one was one of the ones I bid on all of them actually, but only managed to win this one. So this is Cindy number 30. It's just a good girl art cover. I just wanted to get a Ken Bald signature, you know, golden age artist. I thought it would be kind of cool to get a Golden Age signature that's been verified. So, you know, because he only passed, I think, like 10 years ago, or like a little bit less than that. I think he maybe 5 years ago. So when did he pass? No, 4 years ago. He passed soon after signing this, strangely enough. I think he passed in 2019. So yeah. So this is really classic kind of good girl art cover. And then we got Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I actually got this so cheap. I got this for the cost of shipping almost. I think it was $1 bid. Nobody else bid. I ended up winning. I was like so excited. I was like, oh wow! I won a signed 9/8 first Squirrel Girl series. This is Unbeatable Squirrel Girl #1, and it's first Squirrel Girl in her own title, and it's witnessed by blah blah blah. With witness signatures by Eric Henderson and Ryan North. So Erica Henderson is the artist that did the cover. So you can, and she even did like a little remark, which is this. It was just such a great deal. I was so excited when I won this. I couldn't believe that I got it for basically the cost of shipping. So yeah, and then the next one. This is what happens when you don't get it verified, but you get it signed. But this one actually has a lot of cool signatures. This is Marble Age number 134. And this is actually the first appearance of Beavis and Butthead in comics. And it's signed by everybody, like everybody that's related to Beavis and Butthead. So it's signed by 3 names. I forgot who all the names are, but it's basically the creators of Beavis and Butthead. So really kind of a major book. It's a shame that it's like a green label, but it actually, because it was a green label, I got it for about 1/3 of the price of what a blue label goes for, even though it's actually signed by everybody. So I thought that was really interesting. I think I paid less than $100, and then in a 9/8, this book goes for $200 to $300. So I think I paid like $60 or $70. It was like really, really cheap. Another signed book that I have is this is signed by Richard Rivera, and he's the creator of Stabbity Bunny. So this is Stabbity Bunny #1. I believe this is the first appearance of Stabbity Bunny. So yeah, from Scout Comics. And it's kind of this weird, like CBCS has these weird, I wish they would make the yellow labels, so, but they have these red labels. This is maybe an older case. I think they do the yellow labels now, though. Then one of my favorite signature books, this is, like, I just love this book, is Sun Girl #1 by another Ken Bald signature cover. And I got the other Ken Bald first, thinking, oh, I'll never have another chance to get a Ken Bald signature. But then I got this one. I was like so excited because I needed this book to complete my Sun Girl collection, and to get a signed copy just makes it that much more special. So this is the first Sun Girl, and it's from 1948. I like my Golden Age female characters. So. And another book that I got basically for the cost of slabbing. I think I paid under $20 for this. This is I just thought it was a really, really cool cover. So this is Legion of Superheroes #42 from 1988, and it's signed by Paul Levitz, and he's the writer of the story. But I kind of like this girl on the cover. I just thought I like the fact that she's half human and half robot. Kind of interesting. So yeah, it's not an expensive book. I just saw it on on my comic shop for basically the cost of the slab, and I thought it was a really great cover, so that's why I picked it up. And I'm not done. There's still a lot more really great signatures to show. This is another kind of major one. This is Fantastic Four #2. This is the first appearance of the Skrulls, and it is signed by Stan Lee. Now, the funny thing about it is verified signature Stan Lee on first page. Amateur restoration. It's actually a restored copy. So what happened was basically the cost of the book was slightly less than what a blue label would go for, even though it's signed by Stan Lee. But it's signed in the more traditional way. Back in the day, like when I was first starting to collect comics, most people didn't like signatures on the cover because it ruins the cover, and that was before people would get things signed. But you wanted to get the signature because it's kind of cool to get that signature. So what you would do is you'd get that signature on the first page, where it doesn't impact the art. It doesn't do anything that kind of detracts from the story in a way. So that was the way people did it, and so that's what this is. It's a signed Stan Lee book, but it's on the first page, so you can't actually see the signature. So it's kind of a weird one, where you got the all the verified signature thing, but it's on the inside. Next, this one I got from a good friend that watches this channel that I made friends with. That's local, and he sold me this really affordably. This is 7 to Eternity #1. And it's signed by Jerome Opina, and he is the one that did the cover and art. I mean, it's a phenomenal cover. I mean, so I like getting the artist signatures. I feel bad because the writers, they do contribute, but I actually prefer to get the artist signatures. What do you think? Do you prefer the artist signatures, or do you prefer the writer's signatures? So I'd be curious about that one. Sometimes I guess, get some James Tinian or something like that would be kind of awesome. Then we got Critters. Another book that I got from the same guy, actually. This is signed and sketched by Stan Sakai. And so you can see that he did a little Usagi Yojimbo. He's the creator of Usagi Yojimbo. And this is like one of the early appearances of Usagi Yojimbo in comics. And what's weird about this one is CGC actually labeled it incorrectly. So if you look at the label, it says Critters #3, but it's actually Critters #1. I don't know how they messed that up, but they did. It's signed by Stan Sakai, which is weird that they didn't get that right. I don't know how they messed that up, but they did. So it's a error label. I don't know if that adds any value to it. Last one that I got is from another one of the people that have watched my channel. I mentioned that I was looking for this book. They just happen to have it as a signed copy. And it is signed by Chris Claremont, who was the creator, the person that created the story. So this is the first appearance of Captain Britain. And these are actually quite hard to get for a couple reasons in a blue label. So this is a blue label, but, well, gold label because it's signed. These Captain Britons are like really terrible paper. It's just like newspaper, like pulp kind of paper. And the other thing is they always had these kind of like free inserts. And people would, like, they were like something to play with for kids. So a lot of the time they get removed. And so getting a complete copy is actually really rare. So this is Captain Britain #1 from 1976. So that was my complete, well, not complete, but most of my signature books that are graded. I have a couple more that I didn't find, but like I have a Green Lantern signed by Neil Adams and a couple others, which I just couldn't find. I was like looking around, but couldn't find all my signature books. And I have a ton of Zombie Tramp and a ton of like Todd McFarlane books that are signed by Todd McFarlane, and they're all raw books, but you know, they're in my collection. And I have a bunch of other random signed books that are in my collection that I could have brought out, but I just figured I'll show all the gold labels. That's much easier. So the next question comes from Mike Swintel. Do you get any money from the commercials that constantly show during your videos? Yes, I do. So one of the things, and I got to kind of explain this because I feel bad for having to do this, but I kind of have to do this. So one of the things that I do is I kind of use my comic collection as a tax write-off because I claim it as a business expense. So I, you know, I don't make much money from it. It's not like I'm making a fortune from this channel. Actually, it's a losing business, and very much so, because I'm buying too many comics. But what happens is I claim it as a business expense because I get paid to do these videos, right? I get ad revenue. It's not huge amounts. So last month I had 13,000 views on my videos. So, you know, not a huge amount. My channel is kind of small still. But after, like, from 13,000 views, I collected $80. That's how much ad revenue I collected. So I was debating actually of turning off the ads altogether and seeing if I could just block them altogether. And if I get enough subscribers to my members only section. So I was debating that that's something I was thinking of doing. If I get enough people that sign up for the members only section, and it wouldn't be that many. I only need like 16 people to sign up. I think I have 4 or 5 now. You know, it doesn't take that many more. And I would just turn off all the ads. So if you want me to turn off the ads, I recommend you sign up for the members section. And if I get enough people signing up for the members section, I'm going to start posting out extra content. I already do post extra content in my members section, but yeah, so I'm, you know, already doing that, but I'm going to try to do more often and put more interesting stuff. I show a lot of the uncensored stuff on my members only section because I don't want to show like stuff that requires censoring on the live thing because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, and I want to keep this channel fairly PG. But I do show more the risque stuff in the members only section. Somebody was joking that it's like OnlyFans for comics, like that I am in my members section. But yeah, so the point is, if I get like, you know, like say 15 to 20 people signing up for my members only section, I'll probably turn off all the ads just because I figure I want to have it where it makes about $100 a month, because then it looks semi-legit that I'm doing this as a business. So I have to make it look semi-legit. So the more that I can build up the members only section, then I'll do that. But for now, you can help out the channel by just letting the ads play, or at the end of the video. I believe there's always an ad at the end of the video. If you're commenting, just let the ad play. That's what I do actually on other people's channels, because you get revenue for every ad that plays, and it's actually a fair amount of revenue. It's like I think like maybe 10 cents per view of these. You know, it adds up, right? You know, I mean, I had like 13,000 views, so it means that not many people let the ads play. So they usually just block them out. But yeah, so it works out to being like $6 per 1,000 views. So if you ever watch other people's channels and you see, oh, they have like 1 million views, you can actually kind of calculate based on, it's usually between $5 and $10 per 1,000 views That's how much money that they're probably generating from their viewership. So can look at it and they get 1 million views. Well, that's $5,000 to $10,000 that they've made from that one video. So interesting business model if you want to try to do that. But I mean, getting 1 million views on one video is quite hard. But that's every YouTuber's dream, right? To get those big views, when you go viral with a video. So that's something to think about. It's not where YouTubers make their money, to tell you the truth. Most YouTubers make their money through sponsorships. I noticed that once I hit 1,000 subscribers on my channel, I started getting companies reaching out to me. And I probably get maybe 1 or 2 requests a week. I'm not a huge channel, so I don't get that many requests, but I get a few where people will reach out to me and say, "Oh, can you hawk this junky thing that they want to sell?" Most of the time it's junk. And I did 1 or 2 sponsorships just because I thought they had a good product with what's it called? Hip Comics. They sponsored one of my videos, and that was that. I was keen to do that because what they did is they gave me a shopping spree on their comic site, and I was like, oh, I can get free comics. I can sell whatever you want me to sell. So so that kind of thing I enjoy. I don't mind that, but when it's something that's not related or just something I don't believe in the product, I would never do it. I will shill for comics, but not for much else. And really, this channel is more about having fun. As I said, I do use it as a kind of weird tax write-off, so I do have to make some money from the channel. And that's why I do have the ads on. I know the ads are annoying. I feel bad for people to have these ads playing. But if you want to stop that, as I said, just subscribe to the members section. If I get enough people, I'll just turn off all the ads. So again, me babbling here. I feel like I'm pitching my members section too much, but I'm trying to make it good for everybody. Yeah, what else can I say? That's it for this video. That was the last question. If you want to ask a question, please leave it in the comments below and give me feedback about my answers to these questions. I always appreciate people's feedback. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Bye.